everybody and welcome back to Archer Adventures. In this video it's just going to be me, Jade-Marie, and that is because today's video is sort of a Q&A to document everything going on with this whole coronavirus thing, because today we have been shielding, isolating, quarantined, whatever you want to call it, for 100 days inside of our flat. We have not gone outside at all, apart from when I take the bins out, and even then I have to do it at midnight because it's so busy where it's so hot at the moment. So there's been no safe time for me to be able to take them out, especially considering that if I were to take them out any sooner during the day, my neighbours could then block my path to getting back in safe. So I've just got 21 questions sort of about our experience going through all this, because it's something that I have never lived through before, as I'm sure most of us haven't. And I just thought it'd be something interesting to look back on when all of this hopefully ends. Especially for my daughter, who obviously is having to live through this as a child, and it's quite a daunting experience for her. So I just wanted to sort of document how we're feeling and everything like that. Now, before we get into the questions for today's video, this is a Team Heart on YouTube collab series. If you don't know what Team Heart is, it is a group of YouTubers with various congenital heart defects and their parents. And yeah, there's an Instagram page called @TeamHeart on YouTube, which I'll leave the link to below. And anyone else who takes part in this tag series will also be below. Your next one is Hlhs, so do subscribe after you finish watching this video, and we'll get right into the questions now. No, the reason that we are shielding is because my daughter has a condition called hypoplastic left heart syndrome. She was born with only half of her heart. She has had 4 open heart surgeries, 7 cardiac catheters, and a valve surgery. So her body is very vulnerable to such illnesses. Every year we end up in an ambulance because she has caught either strep throat, chest infections, or other viral illnesses. And they already land her in hospital, so we really do not want to see any repercussions from catching COVID-19. She is on the shielding list, so we have been in shielding to protect her, and that puts me, because I am her full-time carer, in the same square, and we both have to stay indoors, and we have not been able to go outside at all, really, because we don't live anywhere near open spaces. There's nowhere safe for us to socially distance, so that has had us remain inside of our flat. The first question is, when did coronavirus get a confirmed case in your city? And for us, that was Tuesday 17th of March. We have been isolating since the 18th of March, but in the afternoon, because she did have to go and have an ECG tape fitted at hospital first, and then we had to go back the next day to take it off. So we've been fully shielding since the 19th of March. Question number 2 is, were you prepared for it? We weren't. We didn't have enough toilet roll, we didn't have enough tin food, we didn't have anything really that we needed to keep ourselves safe. Question number 3 is, are you in self-isolation? And we are, whether you want to call it isolation, shielding, quarantine, we are in full isolation. We have not been able to leave our home whatsoever, not even for a short walk outside. Question 4 is, how long for? We have been in isolation 100 days today. Today is the 26th, I believe, of June. Question number 6 is, what have been our rules for shielding? So because she is high risk, we have not been able to exercise outside. We have not been able to go into the garden because it is a shared environment with public access. We also haven't been able to have any contact with people outside of our household, which is just the 2 of us. So that means that we have been just the 2 of us for a few months. Then is, what are my thoughts and feelings on shielding? Now, I expressed this all earlier through a post that I put on Facebook. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a voice clip of what I wrote then, because I feel like I really took the time to express exactly how I was feeling. And I feel like if I did it now just off the top of my head, I wouldn't be able to put it into as much sense as I did this morning. So I'm just going to voice over this question so that you can understand how I was feeling. But it's been hard, in short.
Day 100 in isolation. 100. 100 days stuck inside a flat with no time outside apart from the very late 5-minute dash to take the bins out each week. It started off fun, we kept ourselves occupied, but soon we ran out of things to do. Stress started to pile on. The schoolwork and calls became a stark reminder for Dawn-louise at how much her life had changed in such a short amount of time. Every call made her more and more upset with the current situation. She knows all too well, if we don't get out this summer, that come winter, she'll be living a fairly isolated life all over again, as she does every year. There's talks about after-school classes opening that she will not get to attend when they do, because her needs are harder to fit around. The looming prediction that all will be asked to return to school come September has me greatly concerned. She already gets 2 to 3 ambulances a year from just common school illnesses, so I dread to think what will happen if she gets COVID. What can I do? Really? It's easy for those so quick to throw the vulnerable under the bus to say, if you're that scared, stay home. We are. We have been. but just like you, we can't stay this way forever. I don't know what it will be like returning to some form of normality for us, but I do know that the stress and worry is firmly building up, and I haven't had a true moment of peace in months. Her cardiology review will be in September, so there is a lot for us to plan ahead for, and my anxiety is running high at the moment. Some heart families have been told they can soon be taken off shielding, but must remain socially distant. The thing is, how do we possibly do that if the rest of the population is being told to do otherwise, or simply choosing not to? Heart families have become accustomed to trying to dodge illnesses. Some, like Dawn-louise, wear masks already during cold and flu season, but this has taken that a lot further. Over the last few months, I've seen so many appalling comments about families just like mine, and it just further cements the notion that Dawn-louise's life is not worth as much as a healthy child, that because she is already sick, her life isn't valuable. But I argue it's more so. She fought to be here. In a way many children and even adults will never have to. She deserves to live out her life however long her heart allows, and this stupid virus and those against protecting others around them shouldn't be our new threat to accomplishing her dreams. So, yeah, it's not been easy, but when has our life together ever been? Anyways, so far, I have many worries. We still have no idea what happened to her back in February. Will returning to school put her back in the same place? We have to further risk COVID getting ambulances and going to the hospital. Will returning to school be safe when her daily checks require touching?
Question number 8 is what has been the hardest part of shielding? For us, it has been getting food. At the start of this, we were going about 3 to 4 weeks without being able to get a food delivery because it took us a while to get onto the shielding list with the suppliers from Asda, Tesco, Sainsbury's, all of those sort of establishments. So the hardest parts for us have been mostly being able to get the food. And at the start of isolation, we were coping really well with it. It was fun. We loved spending time together. But as time went on, it definitely started to take its toll on Dawn-louise as we fell into isolation at a really horrible part of the year for us. Dawn-louise does semi-isolate throughout winter. We don't go out on the weekends because it's cold. We can go to like the movies. She can go to school. She can go to our after-school clubs. But it's a really hard time of year for her because she is at risk of catching illnesses and having much harder time overcoming them. It takes her twice as long to recover. Sometimes in hospital, otherwise at home, but it's still a very hard thing for her to do. So also through winter, she is not allowed to play outside at school because she cannot really handle the temperatures when they're below 10 degrees. So unfortunately, it does mean that she needs to stay inside and that she needs to rest the weekend so that she's got the energy to go to school throughout the week. So in March, which is actually her birthday month, she turned 10 this year. In March, we normally get to start experience going outside. We go to ponds, the beach, you know, we get to spend more time outside. She gets to go outside with her friends at school. So the fact that we went into isolation in March posed a real heavy weight on her mental health because she had already just done her stint of partial isolation throughout winter. And then just as we were moving into her safe zone and her healthiest months, we went into isolation. And the mental strain of knowing that by the time that we get out of this, there is a very good chance the weather is going to drop down to a place where it's uncomfortable for her and where she has other health risks to worry about. It's quite concerning. We want her to enjoy summer as much as possible, so I'm really hoping that in some way we're going to be able to safely go outside at some point. Question number 9 is what has been the best part of isolation? For me, it's just being able to spend time with my daughter, to not have the stress of her being at school. When she's at school and the phone rings, I'm constantly worried that they're going to tell me that she's in an ambulance, she's unresponsive or something along those lines. It's a very stressful life that we lead, so being able to have her with me and know that she's safe has really helped me to sort of have a bit of peace, although I've still got the stress of the coronavirus situation on my mind as well. It's been so lovely to be with her all the time. And she has really taken so much energy and she has really taken so much opportunity out of this. She has started picking up new hobbies, trying new things. She's learning how to help around the house, how to cook dinners, you know, things like this. So there has been some positives for us, but unfortunately there definitely has been more hardship throughout all this than there has been positives. But there definitely has been a few silver linings along the way. Also, one of the things that I'm really thankful for are our Zoom calls. We've been able to make contact with people who we don't really have that regular contact with and form better connections with them, which has been absolutely amazing. It's something that I definitely have really enjoyed seeing her do and have enjoyed being part of myself. That she, you know, she's got her own friends that she calls, and we have a group that we share. That's been really, really beneficial to both of us, and it's just given us something to look forward to each week. Number 10 is, have you picked up any new hobbies? And we certainly have. I started learning how to crochet until I ran out of wool. But I started learning how to crochet blankets, which I do hope to carry on doing. I found it really relaxing and it was just a lovely way to pass the time. I get very fidgety if I'm worried about things and stressed. So whilst I was watching videos or YouTubes or movies or whatever, I just sit and crochet. The repetition with my hands just made me feel so much more at ease, and it was something that I really did enjoy. One of my other hobbies that I've picked up is making things out of resin. I'm really excited to make more things out of that, and I feel like that's going to be a really great way for us to bond, because it is something that we can do together and it's creative, and I think that that's something really important. As for Dawn-louise, she has picked up a few new instruments. She has been learning piano and ukulele, so those are her biggest new hobbies, and she's doing amazing at it. She's coming along so far. The teachers are so impressed with her. She's only had 7 piano lessons and we keep getting glowing reviews from her teacher, and her school teacher came down and visited us through the window, and Dawn-louise did a little piano performance for her, and she was so overwhelmed with how well she is doing it and how good her memory is. So that has been amazing to see. Number 12 is what has helped you cope with being in isolation. For me, I've really enjoyed getting new bath bombs and having baths to relax. That's not something I normally have time for, so it's definitely something I've been pushing myself to do more often. For Dawn-louise, that's been reaching out to friends, texting and FaceTiming. She's been able to form connections with people that we didn't have before, and I think that's been amazing for her. She's even been FaceTiming another YouTube family called the Cake Family of 4, and she's been absolutely loving that, so I'm really appreciative to their parents for allowing our daughters to have that connection. I think one of the biggest things that's helping us cope is just to stay occupied, try out new things if we can, to stay fit. We've been trying things like yoga, dancing and things like that, just stuff to get us moving around and take our minds off it for a little while. Question number 13 are, what are our coronavirus must-haves? So for me, it's been things like food, toilet roll, like serious must-haves, but also things to do. But honestly, I think the most important must-have is Wi-Fi. I really think that we would not be making it halfway through this as good as we have if it wasn't for Wi-Fi. Because honestly, being able to speak on Zoom and FaceTime, etc. has been incredible, and it's what's keeping us going, and it's keeping that socialisation and those friendship bonds strong for us, especially considering that we have friends that don't live anywhere near us. So yeah, I would say that honestly, what's helping us most is Wi-Fi. That, antibacterial wipes. We are going through so many, so keeping a good stock on antibacterial wipes, hand gels, face masks, those sort of things have been really helpful. What am I most excited for after isolation? Honestly, I'm just excited to take a walk. I can't wait to just take a walk with her, whether it's in her wheelchair or with her hand in hand. I just want to go for a walk and hopefully feed the duckies. Normally every Friday throughout spring and summer, we'd go to the pond and feed the ducks, and then we'd have a little picnic after school. And that's just something that I really miss, just something easy like that. But I mean, we've missed out on a lot of other big things. We didn't get to have a big 10th birthday like we planned to. We haven't been able to see our heart friends. We haven't been able to go to the theme park that we go to every year, but everyone throughout this has lost so much, so I'm definitely not complaining. I just wanted to say what I've missed most, and honestly it's just taking a simple walk. I think that if we could at least just take a walk outside, this would have been a lot easier on both of us. The question is, what are 5 things that I'm looking forward to post-isolation? Honestly, one of the things I'm most looking forward to is just feeling a breeze or rain. I live in England, it rains a lot, and one of my favourite things to do, I have one of those plastic dome umbrellas, and one of my favourite things to do is just listen to the rain hitting it, because it just sounds so lovely. So honestly, one of the things I'm most looking forward to is just feeling the weather, because all I felt is static air with humidity from inside my home. So I'm quite looking forward to that first time hearing rain hit my umbrella and feeling a breeze and having it blow in my hair, and just, it's really pathetic, but that's what I'm most looking forward to, which is just so sad. One of the other things I'm really looking forward to is seeing our friends again. We had so many plans with our good friends who are also YouTubers, so go check them out, called Hlhs. And we had so many plans with them for this year, and it sucks that we might not get to do that at all now. But also our other friends, we were going to have every single one of our heart friends down for Dawn-louise's birthday, which would have been the first time we ever got together as a group, and considering they all mean so much to us, to have them all in the same room and getting to know each other as well, it just would have been amazing, and I am so sad that we got to miss out on that. So one of the other simple things that I am missing is just taking a walk. Like I said, I want to go for a walk, I want to feed ducks, I just want to walk. I want to walk and it not just be inside my flat. One of the other things that I'm really looking forward to is returning to the cinema. I love going to the cinema with Dawn-louise. We are both big movie buffs, we both love Marvel, Disney, you know, the big ones. But we just love going to the movies, and there was a point in time where we were going like every Friday because we get reduced tickets, so it's a lot cheaper for us, I'll be honest. So yeah, so with having the cheaper tickets, we just really enjoyed going to the cinema every week. So every Friday after school, we take the bus straight down to the cinema and watch a movie before going home. And I really, really miss doing that with her. It was our little time where we could drift off into another world. No matter what had happened that week, we could just drift off to a whole nother reality, and we just sit in the cinema and we'd hold hands and share sweets and stuff. And I just really, really miss that. So I cannot wait to see movies again. And I hear they're making more Spider-Man, so I'm really excited for that. One of the other things that I'm really looking forward to is the theme parks opening back up again, but obviously for a while it's not gonna be safe for us to still go. So yeah, it sucks a bit, especially considering that the theme park that we visit every year is opening a whole new area, and I was so excited to go there on opening day and see it for the first time. We might not get to go till next summer now, so that sucks. The next question is, how long are you going to be in isolation for? Now this one is a bit of a tricky one. Our isolation shielding letter says to 30th of June, but other heart families like ours have started getting letters that say that they're no longer on the shielding list, but when they go out, they are not to go to shops, they are not to go to big public spaces, and they must follow social distancing. They can, however, form a bubble with one other household and meet up with them. Now, this puts us in a bit of a tricky situation because we can't use public transport with that. We won't be able to visit anywhere still. And when we go out for walks, which would be a huge, huge step up for us at this point, if everyone else is being told that they don't need to follow social distancing, then how are we going to keep our distance? Because we can try and move away from other people, but if they don't also then keep that distance and they just decide, oh, they're moving over, I'll get closer, we're not going to be able to do it. And around here, I can already see from the windows, people are not social distancing. They are not wearing their masks, or they've got them, but they're like down here. So I'm a little bit worried about how that's going to go. So yeah, it's a bit of a funny one for us. We have not had any new letters yet. So if we do get that letter and we are allowed to bubble with another family, we are going to be bubbling with another family who has been in isolation for the same length of time that we have. And we would be going to visit them. Therefore, we'd be in a completely different place where there would be plenty of space for walks because they live in a big area, whereas we live in a very compact area. So at the moment, I'm not sure, but I'm going to say we're definitely not going to be going back to normal anytime soon. There is talk about the kids going back to school in September, which I am really worried about because I don't know how that's going to work, because Dawn-louise being at school means that she could catch less risky illnesses but still end up in ambulances, going into hospital, etc, etc. So it's a little bit scary, but she is due a cardiac review in September, so we are definitely going to have to go to the hospital in September for at least one day, and that is quite scary. So there's a lot of things that I don't know yet, so I might update this at the end of our isolation period to fill you in on exactly how that's working. The next question is, what has been our routine? Now, at the start of it, we had a much better routine going. We were getting up early still, doing the work, having some fun, going to bed, everything was hunky-dory. However, we've been in our flat for 100 days now, so that went right out the window about 3 weeks ago. So now we are waking up when our bodies feel like we can, because we've both been feeling really, really exhausted. And then we have been doing schoolwork. And then we've been spending the entire day doing schoolwork, which is why there hasn't been as many videos. We just have not had the time. So it's mostly wake up, do schoolwork, and then do our Zoom calls every Friday. So we get up and we do our Zoom calls every Friday, and at the weekend we try to relax, watch movies, chat to our friends, all that stuff. So mostly it's just about school. Nothing else is really a routine anymore. The only thing that is solid and set in place is Dawn-louise's Zoom calls. So she does drama, stretch, tap, modern, piano, ukulele. Yeah, that's everything. So all of those are throughout the week, and they are on different days and different times. So that's the only thing that's set in stone. The rest of it, we're kind of just free falling a little bit. But hopefully we'll be able to get back into a routine soon. It's just really hard to get up early, especially from my perspective. I normally get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, but if Dawn-louise isn't waking up till 9 because she's just really overwhelmed all the time, there's not very much point in me getting up at 5. So yeah, our routine's gone out the window, basically. In all honesty, yeah, it's embarrassing. I wish that I could say that we have accomplished so much, but we've hit the brick wall, and there's just no routine. And the next question is, what do you wish people knew about CHD and coronavirus? So one thing that I want people to know is that there are people who are vulnerable. They are not always going to be elderly people. They can be really young children, even babies. 1 in 100 babies are born with some form of congenital heart defect. Some are more serious than others. Some have more complications than others. Some look really healthy. Some show obvious signs. Some look really healthy but are really not, and it's just a very well hidden disability, otherwise known as an invisible disability. So please, please, if you see someone with a mask, give them some space. If you see someone deliberately trying to move away from you, give them some space. And just remember that vulnerable lives do matter. So please, please respect their space as well. Little Hearts Matter is a single ventricle charity in the UK, and they are doing a big campaign on the respect the distance, or respect the space, sorry. So please go and check them out. I'll leave a link down below to them so that you can find out more from another perspective, so that if you don't want to take my word for it, you can learn from a charity that is based on these conditions. Next question is, how has coronavirus changed you as a person? It has changed me a lot, I'll be honest. It's made me realise who really cares how we're doing, who really does miss us, and who really will make the effort to see us in however form that is. We haven't really stayed in contact with that many people, so I have been really thankful for the people that have been there, and it's made me realise how different my life is to some of my friends, and why they might not understand how it feels from our perspective, just as I can't fully understand it from their perspective. But I think one of the things that's made me change as a person is, I think I put the human race on a bit of a pedestal, and I like to believe the best in people. And social media has really, really showed me lately that a lot of people just simply do not care about everyone else. And I'm not saying that you have to care about us, but I can't imagine not caring about other people. I can't imagine going around knowing you're unwell, avoiding social distancing rules, making remarks about wearing masks and such. I just can't see why you wouldn't want to help other people stay healthy and stay safe, why you wouldn't want to protect the nurses and the doctors and the surgeons who are working to save people's lives because they've got these illnesses. That just doesn't make any sense to me. I can't fathom how you can be so careless, how you can be so willing to harm so many other people. You don't know how many people are going to be affected by your one person not following the rules. And I really can't understand how people don't see it that way. I can't understand why people don't think, hey, I don't want you to get hurt, you know? I don't want to see you in hospital. I don't want to see you lose a family member. I don't understand how people can just make it a joke and like it isn't as serious as it is. And even though things are starting to slowly return to normal, it's amazing to me that people, you know, are moaning about masks, and I get that they're uncomfortable. I really, really do. But you're literally helping people to survive. And I think that's the bare minimum that you can ask from another human, is just to want to look after each other. So that's really changed me as a person. It's made me have a different perspective, and I think I'm definitely going to be really cautious when we do go outside, because I kind of thought, you know, at the beginning of this, you know, everyone's going to be looking after each other, everyone's going to be looking out for each other, they're going to stay away from each other so that this spread decreases rapidly to the point where hopefully maybe it will go away forever, you know, who knows. But that's not the case. So I think it has definitely changed my perspective, and it makes me really sad that that's the case. Like, I don't want to think that people don't care about my daughter's safety and her life like they would their own daughter, brother, sister, you know, whatever. So yeah, that definitely has changed me a lot. I remember when we first went into isolation, the first few days that we were in isolation, I suddenly kind of crashed emotionally, and I just felt really sad. I really did. I felt so upset. Like, I was seeing all these comments on social media like, oh, it's only the vulnerable who are going to die. It's only the vulnerable who are going to get sick. It's only the elderly that are going to get sick. And I just remember being so sad, and I couldn't even express how sad I was, because all I could think was, how do people not care about those that are vulnerable? Just because you already have an illness doesn't mean that your life should not be saved. Like, I don't understand how that works. And maybe I'm speaking from a biased perspective, because obviously my daughter is one of the vulnerable, And actually, so am I have asthma, but I would never think that somebody's life mattered less than mine just because they've struggled. If anything, they deserve it more. They fought to be here. We haven't. You know, my daughter went through 4 open heart surgeries, 7 cardiac catheters and a bowel surgery just to be alive today. If anything, I think that gives her even more reason to have a long life, not less of one. So yeah, that's been quite hard for me. And the first few days, I was just broken. I was so unhappy because all I could think was, is this really how people see her life? Is this really how people see cancer survivors' lives? Because they're vulnerable too. They fought to be alive today. And I don't know if that is how it comes across. You know, maybe I'm just being overly sensitive. I wouldn't be the first time. But yeah, it really hurts to see that. And for them to so openly admit it, like it's not a bad thing to say, it kind of broke me.
One of the other things that really upset me was that on our last trip to the shops before we went into isolation, we were getting some hand gel because when Dawn-louise gets cuts and scrapes, it's important that I have fully sterilised hands so that I don't put her at risk of skin infections. And 3 mums with a buggy stood literally laughing at us, saying how pathetic we were. And they had no idea, obviously, that it wasn't even a coronavirus situation that we were getting them for.
Question is, do you feel accomplished? Now, at the start of quarantine and lockdown and everything, I saw people doing, you know, they were learning new tasks, they were learning how to cook, they were getting fit, and I was like, oh my god, that's amazing. And I was like, oh, there's other things that I want to try. And I have a list in my phone of like 30 things that I wanted to learn, and I wanted to try and fix my laptop so that I could do online courses, and I haven't done anything because yeah, we've been at home and you think we'd have more time, but we've been really busy just keeping up with like schoolwork and mental health and just staying healthy and happy in this environment for so long that I haven't done anything worth it. I haven't even finished a book. So yeah, I don't feel accomplished, but well done to everyone who has accomplished a lot. Well done to those who have, you know, stuck with these new things and gone running every day and like changed their whole lives in this quarantine. I think that's amazing. So if that's you, well done, because that's like a huge thing and I think it's amazing. I really do. And the next question is how has social media affected you coping with this? So as I sort of touched on before, social media has been quite hard for me and I've had to definitely steer away from it lately because I keep seeing these comments about it's only the vulnerable, you know, it doesn't matter. Oh, I'm not wearing masks because they're hot and they're uncomfortable. I'm not going to follow social distancing. I'm going to go to the beach. The beaches are flooded and all of this. And it's a lot because I am scared. And I remember seeing this comment and it's going to stick with me, I think, for the rest of my life now because I can picture it in my head like I saw it 2 seconds ago. That's how much it affected me. And this comment said, I can't wait to see people literally trembling in the streets because they're afraid. And I'm afraid because I don't want to see my daughter suffer. I don't want to see her fight. I don't want to see her back on a ventilator. I've already seen her on a ventilator 4 times. I do not want to see a 5th time. It is so incredibly hard to see your baby, your child, with a ventilator, unable to breathe for herself. I don't ever want to have to see that again. And there's always a chance that that's going to happen again because of her heart. And now there's a chance because of coronavirus. And I mean, you can say about the flu virus and everything, but we are scared of that every single year too. That's not new for us. I am scared every winter for her. But to know that people can have coronavirus and not display symptoms for so long, and just the spread of it and the fact that there's not even a vaccine for it to at least try and help, it's a whole nother thing. And it is scary. And all I keep seeing on social media is, you know, if you're scared, stay home. But like we have been, but just like you, we can't do this forever. She has to go back to school eventually. She has to be outside eventually. We can't live the next, 10 years in a flat or however long it takes to sort this out. I don't know. So it's just, I would like to think that other people would be looking out for her and children like her and families like us and, you know, cancer families, cystic fibrosis families, you know, families with asthma. I would like to think that if you see a person with a mask on, you'd be a little bit more extra cautious. You know, if you can still keep distance, that you would. And it breaks me to see that so many people just don't. Very last question. So if you've got this far, thank you for listening. I really do appreciate it because let's be honest, my my opinion doesn't really matter. So I really do appreciate people actually listening. It means a lot. So my fears, as I've already kind of touched on, my fears are just going outside, hate catching it. But one of the bigger worries that I've got is this sort of chain reaction that I've thought up in my head, which is if Dawn-louise goes back to school and she catches a cold and she starts coughing, and I think it's coronavirus. So I phone the doctors asked us to come into hospital, we go into hospital and we're where the patients are that definitely have it. And therefore, even if she didn't have it before, then she has it. And it's like this whole whirlwind. So because I have anxiety, I can think ahead down like these big spirals of bad stuff, to put it in the easiest way to understand it. And that is not good for this right now, because all I can think is, okay, if this goes wrong, this could happen, then this could happen, and blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of things I'm afraid of, and I think I've already touched on it enough throughout this video. So I'm just gonna leave that there. But again, thank you so much for watching, and this is going to be a collab with Team Heart. So the next person taking over is Clover Hlhs, and I will leave anyone else who does dip into this below, and it'll be like a tag series so you can get different perspectives, and hopefully I've come across quite well and you can understand how it's felt for me. It's always hard to make these sort of videos because from the top of your head, you can't really think of every emotion that you felt over the last few months, and if I wrote it down, I'd just be sat reading for ages. So if there's anything that I want to add, I'll make sure to put it in the next video, and if you have any questions, I can put those in the next video too. I hope that you enjoy our vlogs. We will make a few of them, probably only one a week again though, like we used to, because it's just not that much fun in here. But next Friday, we have something kind of special going on, so, and it'll be indoors, but it'll be special for us, and hopefully you'll enjoy watching also. So we will catch you in the next video, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Everybody gives you advice, yeah, on how to live your life, how to live your life. Don't you know that life is full of surprises? You better realize